What is it about a beard and a pandemic that just goes hand in hand? What is it?
You just have to do it.
Right?
It's the equivalent of it's sweatpants for your face.
Hey there, human. With me, Rainn Wilson.
Lemon, do you have any mental health tips? What has helped you stay sane during the pandemic? You also moved from our old house to our new house. How do you feel, and what can you share with the people on Hey There Human? If there's one greatest issue, one greatest lesson that I take away from this pandemic and doing this show, it's, wow, we're all in this shared human experience all around the globe. No matter who you speak to, their lives have been impacted. People are the same, similar hopes and dreams, similar senses of humor. I love how The Office is a show that has really swept around the globe, and people all over the globe love it and laugh at it and with it, and that's such a wonderful miracle to be a part of. But we're in this together, and no matter who we are, no matter where on the globe we are, and that is a very special and beautiful thing. Steve is
using my Instagram because he has no Instagram because he's so old.
Hey,
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm well. How you doing, buddy?
I was mocking you. I said you don't have an Instagram because you're so old.
I am.
Even though you're
know
essentially 3 years older than me, but
that. In spirit, I'm many more years older than you, though.
that is true. That is true.
I'm decrepit.
Look, I feel like we should be rubbing beards. Look at those things.
I know.
Right?
Sweet.
What is it about a beard and a pandemic that just goes hand in hand? What is it?
You just have to do it.
Right?
It's the equivalent of it's sweatpants for your face.
That's fantastic. One of the things that we share a lot about on the show is we talk a lot about kind of mental health stuff, and we're talking a lot about mental health tools and tips during these really trying times. What have you found effective for yourself?
I don't know about you, but there's a certain brittleness to people right now, and you can feel it. You know, you go to the supermarket. I feel it. Nancy feels it. My kids feel it. You're out on the road in LA. People are driving crazily, and
Right. Yes.
and at the supermarket there's a tension. You know, how close do I get? How close can I get to other people? You know, there's a level of annoyance that seems to be percolating right below the surface of a lot of people. And one of the things that we've tried to be cognizant of is exactly what you were talking about before, is just forgiving people for that. Accepting that it's hard for everyone, and rather than exacerbate that feeling of tension, and I guess brittleness is a word I keep coming back to, because it's not like any of these are necessarily bad people, but there's a lot of anxiety right now. But not to feed into it, I guess, is my point. Not to brace yourself, but to open yourself to it.
I think that's so great. Forgiveness and understanding of like, hey, there's a lot of people out there hurting right now, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, to forgive, to let go, to understand that sometimes people are going to be reactive in this environment.
And it can be disarming too. When I was thinking, when I was living in Chicago and I was working as a waiter, it was early on. I remember one night I had two roommates. I came home after a long shift and I was super tired and cranky, and some leftover one of my roommates had eaten. And it was like the only thing that I was looking forward to come back. And I just sort of lost it, you know, at the end of your rope. And again, with all the tiredness and and not to excuse myself, but I was ticked off, and I kind of unleashed at him, like, what the hell, man? Why did you do that? And he did something, and I'll never forget it. He just backed away and said, are you all right? Like, he reached out. It was such a significant moment for me, because I was expecting him to lash back at me, like, yeah, well, you drank my Diet Coke, and get into it that way. And it completely disarmed me. And I did, and there was a lot going on in my life. There was a lot of tension. There were a lot of other factors besides just being tired or having a long shift or being hungry. There were other things in my life, and he was perceptive about that.
So, Steve, how incredible is it and strange that The Office has this second life that is just nuts? How has that been for you, this kind of strange Office obsession renaissance going on?
I don't know if you feel the same thing, but the people who watch the show definitely know the show better than we do. Because maybe we watched it once. I when we'd all get together and we'd watch episodes, that was most of my watching of the show. So I don't know all the details. And when people reference lines and bits, I don't even, some of them don't really ring a bell at all. So the trivia side of it's kind of funny that it is, it's great that it caught on like it did, because we all felt that it was special when we were doing it. We felt that we were on to something, and kind of felt like we got into a bit of a groove as a cast, and the writers were so fantastic. Like, all parts of it just seemed to be firing on all cylinders, and it felt special when we were doing it.
One thing that's been really gratifying for me is, like, during this really dark time, I mean, I've heard from so many people that they've really appreciated having The Office there, that it has a warmth and humanity to it, a kind of a family feel that makes it a special thing, and that it's helped them during this time. So, and even helped their mental health. We've learned more as we've talked about mental health on the show, like The Office being a part of mental health healing.
Well, if you find something, and I think comedy is so subjective, and The Office isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea for sure, but if you find something that makes you laugh, it is therapeutic. It just is. And I've said before, when something really makes me laugh hard, there's no better feeling in my book than that pure joy of finding something funny.
And before I let you go, what do you have any hope for the future that you can share? Is there any good coming out of all of this kind of division and chaos, both in the political world, but also this pandemic and what people have been going through? Is there a silver lining here? What can we look forward to from your perspective?
Wow. I certainly hope so. If nothing else, it's going to bring up important conversations that we haven't had, and bring to light all sorts of things that, as human beings, we have to take care of.
Steve, I love you like a brother, and thank you.
I love you too, buddy. Good to see you.
You're the best. So
You
long.
too.
The great Stephen S. Carell. Actually, I don't know what his middle name is. What a fun show. I love you guys. Please stay connected. Do whatever you can do to stay in gratitude. If you find your attitude slipping, to shift to gratitude and joy, and to spread that joy one to another. And, we can do this. And we can have a second virus spreading around the globe, a virus of joy and gratitude and service, and people reaching out to each other. And that's how we'll get through this. So thank you so much, you guys. Bye-bye, humans. You are wonderful, wonderful humans. Stay human. Goodbye.
Hey there, human. Hey there, human.